Hello, I'm Seth Rubenstein, President of the American Podiatric Medical Association, and I'm here today to introduce you to Mr. Chris Panabianco, who is Chief Marketing Officer at Bankers Healthcare Group. Chris is responsible for leading BHG's marketing initiatives to support the company's suite of financial solutions. Chris has more than a decade of experience managing financial options for licensed healthcare practitioners and other highly skilled professionals. Chris, first tell me a little bit about yourself. Where do you
Thank you
live?
very much.
How long have you been with BHG?
Thank you very much, Seth. I appreciate that, and I'm happy to be here. I've been with BHG since 2009. I came from agency background. I did have the luxury of having BHG as a client, so I got to see how they worked from outside the organization. And at one point, they just realized that it was a good fit, and I decided to make the jump, and it's been a great adventure ever since 2009.
Fabulous. Now, tell me a little bit about BHG.
So Bankers Healthcare Group is a niche lender. We came about in 2001. Our founders, three guys, entrepreneurs that came from the bank side, and they had done a lot of medical financing. And they came together right after 9/11 with a $25,000 investment and an idea that healthcare professionals were an underserved market when it came to their financing needs. They didn't have the time to go into a bank lobby and fill out stacks of paperwork, and the technology wasn't there yet to secure loans online. So they created this company with three people, and today we have over 700 individuals on our team, and we've provided over $6 billion in financial solutions to licensed healthcare practitioners, as well as other highly skilled professionals, as you mentioned earlier. And what we do, the whole model was built on taking the best of both worlds. So the relationship and the concierge service of your community bank, and obviously knowing your banker and getting familiar with them, but also the speed and hassle-free nature of an online lender. So we've merged the two of those sides together to what we consider one of the most convenient, fast, hassle-free lending experiences in the country.
Fabulous. Well, what are some of the questions a physician should be asking if they're in need of finance?
Sure, and we deal with this every day. We deal with over 20,000 professionals every month that come in looking for financing. And our approach is more, as I said, a concierge approach. We're looking to understand what you're trying to accomplish. Is it for personal finances? Is it for your business? The things that the questions they should have answers are, what do I want to do? Am I trying to expand my practice? Am I trying to consolidate some business debt? Am I trying to expand? Where do I need the funds? And then the biggest question is, well, what can I afford? Monthly repayment is very big. You have a lot of options out there. And, if you're going to take on a payment, especially what we've gone through with COVID, that is very high, that's not going to work. And you could end up hurting yourself in the end. So the other questions I would look at are, how fast do I need the loan? Do I have time to wait for an SBA loan, which typically takes longer, where your interest rate's going to be a little lower and the loan amounts are higher? Do I have time to get outside of my office or outside of my practice? And then the big things are term, how long, and this goes back to monthly payment. The longer you stretch the term out, the more affordable the loan will be, the monthly payment. And then how much do I need? So, as you're sitting there thinking about all of the different uses of funds, you're really going to want to know, do I have the right lender? Is this lender reputable? Have they worked with people in my field? Do they understand what we're going through and how I would use the money? Those are some big things. Will this appear on my credit? There are some lenders where it will and some that it won't. If it doesn't appear on your credit and it's not secured, that gives you freedom to go out and keep your credit lines open, your borrowing ability open. So there's a myriad of things you have to consider, but having a game plan for that and really understanding the why behind it, why you'll need money, is important.
You mentioned COVID and times being what they are. What advice can you offer our members to safeguard their practices today, financially speaking, and to prepare for the future?
Yeah, and we've seen this a lot. When COVID started, we originally, about 15% of our portfolio requested loan modifications, and we worked with every one of them. We had about $3 billion outstanding. And today, one of the benefits we have of working with healthcare professionals is that their businesses are coming back online. They're doing very well. Today, we've gone from over 5,000 customers on a loan modification to zero. So we've worked through the COVID, through the pandemic, side by side with our borrowers. But what we did is we learned a lot. We surveyed our customers. We had those in-depth conversations. And the one thing that it came back to was having a game plan, understanding that, things are not always going to be easy. We work with a lot of dentists too, and they were hit very hard. So they had to look at alternatives. Number one is looking within. So taking a look at your cash flow. Do you have cash flow to weather the unknown or to weather another shutdown? And then evaluating your practice obligations, taking a deep dive into all of your expenses, from your technology to what you're paying for your PPP or your PPE, all of your materials. Are you marketing? Really taking a deep dive to see, can I cut things here? Evaluating your staff, evaluating your technology, and most of all is how you do business. A lot of our customers had to go to telemedicine. We work with a lot of veterinarians as well, and they've had to redo their whole interaction with their customer because they're not letting anyone in their office. So how is their technology? Do they have live chat on their website? Do they have appointment setting? How do they take in new patients? So really sitting down and getting the game plan of what your practice has as obligations, and then is there opportunity? So the opportunity for growth. We've seen a lot of our customers come back to us. About 40% of our business every year is repeat customer. So they've worked with BHG in the past, they've come back, and they're using it really to seize opportunity. As we see the commercial real estate market is taking a large hit, space is affordable now. People are looking to sell, and the prices are coming down on that real estate. So again, I think you have to look at, what are your goals? What stage of your career are you at? If you're starting out, what does growth look like? Where do you want to be? If you're towards the tail end of your career, what is your exit strategy? What is that game plan for your income? And I know we'll talk a little bit later about that. What are some of the side businesses in addition to your current practice that you can look at?
Sounds like financial planning as much as business financing.
It really is.
Speaking of which, what financial solutions, other than a straight loan, are available for physicians today?
Yeah, and again, we've seen, when the pandemic hit, we worked closely. We have an SBA division. We're one of 14 non-bank SBA licensed lenders. And what we saw was the PPP program came out, and everybody scrambled. The government came out and tried to support business owners. And we, as many other lenders did, put this program in place. And FSG, which is a subsidiary, a wholly owned subsidiary of BHG, we did over 1,300 loans for $150 million to healthcare professionals and other business owners. And that's still there. There's still PPP money left. Now it's the whole forgiveness plan. But outside of government programs, you do have business loan options, and there are many different programs, anywhere from short-term working capital all the way into a longer-term loan. There are personal loans that you can use for any personal, household, or recreational purpose. So again, whether you're in the practice or outside, there are financing options available for you. A lot of what we've seen is debt consolidation or business startup. As I mentioned earlier, the ability to take advantage of opportunity to go, whether it's within your practice and your specialty, or investing in other areas. The SBA loans are very attractive. We just came off of an incentive that the SBA had, where by the end of September, if you had secured your loan, they had 6 months of credits for that on your payment. There's also credit cards. Credit cards have had a positive and negative view in the market, but if used properly, you can really use those to your advantage, whether it's a personal card, a business card, or even a P card, to where if you have multiple users in your practice or your business, you can manage those accounts much better across all cards that are out there. So really, again, it goes back to that game plan, Seth, that whatever is important to you, we need to make sure that we match you with that solution.
Super. Great answers. What are some of the benefits of taking out a loan with BHG? I mean, why
Sure.
BHG?
And, again, as I said earlier, I think a lot of it has to do with knowing your customer. One of the things I love about our company is that I still have the ability 12 years later, as we've grown, to talk to every single one of our customers that wants to speak to us. And we reach out, we're surveying them. And the biggest thing that they talk about is the fact that we work so closely with healthcare, and that the concierge experience that they receive is something that no other lender is providing them. So that's without saying how great our products are, but it's that service, and it's that white glove service that from the top down, Al and Eric, our original founders, have instilled in us from day one in 2001 to 19 years later. So it's all about the service. But then when you look at our suite of products, as I mentioned earlier, we cover you on the business side, on the personal side, SBA, larger loans, credit cards. We also have a sister company that does collection services. And now we ventured into patient lending that will compete on the level with Care Credit, that we can go ahead and give you a platform that can pre-qualify and pre-fund any of your clients or your patients with an affordable loan payment that they pick the terms. It's a very cool platform that I think in the next 2 years will really take center stage. Within our lending, specifically, business loans have been our working capital, small business loans have been our sweet spot for the last 19 years. We offer a longer term option, brand new, and for the first time being announced, we will go out to 12 years now, where we had our extended terms to 10. Most lenders are in the 5 to 7 year suite. But for BHG, we thought it was important, especially with COVID, to create that longer term loan to give a more affordable payment. We do larger loan amounts. We go up to $500,000 on our working capital. As I mentioned, we have the concierge lending experience, and our loans don't impact your credit. We choose not to report those on the business side. There's no personal collateral. And again, you never have to leave your office to fund with us. We're not a brick and mortar bank. But you do get the concierge service of a live voice if you so choose to have that experience.
No personal collateral. That's huge, huge. You mentioned terms of loans. SBA can go 10 or 20 years, correct, if you're working in that sphere?
Yes, sir. We go up to 20 years. It depends on the use of funds. It is a little bit longer of a process than, BHG will get you approved in 24 hours for a business loan, and we can fund you in as fast or in as few as 3 business days. Whereas the SBA does take a little bit longer. But one thing that we did, and the reason why we started our wholly owned subsidiary and went after that license, was because we wanted to take all of the teachings and the learnings that we had from BHG providing that concierge service, that fast loan experience, and apply that to a typically long, arduous task with securing an SBA loan. And to this point, we've had great success and the feedback has been wonderful.
Super. Okay, so you've sold me. If one of our members was interested in financing some solution with BHG, where should they go? How do they get started?
Yes, it's a great question. And we have worked with the APMA, and we've set up a specific website, co-branded website. It's apma.bhgchoice.com. And there you will find all of the products I mentioned. Very simple process. You can review all of the information, and then you can fill out a simple form or fill out an application and get started with us. And we have a dedicated team for specifically the APMA and all of its members.
Thank you. I have a couple of questions that we've received from our members. So I'm going to ask you those now and just tell me what you think. And this sort of builds on something that you said. You put a lot of information out there. But one of the things that intrigued me was using financing for outside sources of income. So what kind of passive income streams have podiatrists successfully pursued outside of medicine?
Sure. And we, again, as I said, we have found a lot of our customers coming in to do this because of the government situation, the election, the stock market, the unknown, the uncertainty. Mm-hmm. So we look at it generally in 2 ways. We have the general and non-medical passive income stream, and then we have the medical practice related. So within general, a lot of our people are looking and taking out money to go, as I mentioned earlier, with the rental property or real estate acquisition. They're expanding their practice, or they're expanding into becoming a landlord. They're also investing in the real estate investment trusts. We've seen a lot of people taking money out to start side businesses for a spouse or a loved one. Again, we are lending the money to the medical professional. How they choose to use that for a business purpose is their own choice. But we've seen them venture out into, we had one professional that invested into a Dunkin' Donut franchise. And, it's something that they wanted to protect themselves in the event that something else happened. We all know that people love coffee, as I am a big user of Dunkin' Donuts, and many of your listeners probably are too. But then on the medical and practice side, we've seen medical consulting. That's become a very big thing as we've all adopted technology as we're sitting here today instead of in person. The consulting side, the continuing medical education, the CME classes, getting certified to teach those. Telemedicine has become a very popular option, and physician advisor. We've seen a lot of our customers tell us that they've done a lot of medical surveys or even working with the health insurance companies for utilization review and the request for treatment review. So the other one that we've seen, I've seen 4 or 5 times now, has been people are writing books or they're getting paid to write case studies. So using their medical background and their specialty knowledge to go out and author different journals or write their own books. So there's a myriad of options out there, and all of these cost money. So going back to the beginning of our conversation, understanding what your goal is and how much time can you commit to these things is going to be very important before you try to secure financing to step outside of the office or outside of the practice to take advantage of one of these opportunities.
Time management is a huge issue for physicians. Last question has to do with SBA. When I think SBA, I'm thinking commercial real estate. If I already have a piece of real estate and I want to either expand it or purchase another one, and that might require taking out another SBA loan. So what can you comment about that as far as if I already have an SBA loan?
Yeah, that's a great question. We receive that a lot. The cap on the SBA 7A program is $5 million, and that can be compromised of multiple loans. So the short answer is yes. As long as the borrower stays under the $5 million limit, they are more than welcome to take out additional SBA loans. We know with our customers that opportunity arises, or you're using your first loan for certain things and then another opportunity or another obligation arises, and it's a good use of the government-backed loan to pay off any obligations or to take advantage of an opportunity.
Interesting. Well, thank you. Thank you very much. I guess my last question is, you've done a wonderful job explaining BHG to me and to our listeners and our members. If I wanted to contact BHG, you mentioned go to the website. Is there an email or anything else you want to share?
Yeah, I'll share mine. As I mentioned earlier, I put my money where my mouth is, and I love talking to every single one of our customers, hearing about their great experiences, ideas they have, or even how we can improve. As any lender, you can't make everyone happy, but our goal is to really leave a positive, lasting impression. And to do everything we can in that concierge service mindset. So I'd love to give you my personal email address. I look at it 24 hours a day, chrisp@bhg-inc.com. Be happy to talk to any one of your members and see what we can do. And again, our goal is to provide the APMA members a great service and strengthen our relationship so that we're partners for years to come.
Super. Okay, thank you very much for your time. That's it for today, folks. Everybody stay safe and be well.